Hi creators, it's Claire from Right Accounts, and today I want to ask if you want to know an easier way of getting your finances up to date. And I think the answer that pretty much every small business owner I've ever met would be yes, Claire, of course I want to know the easier way. Because I think getting behind is pretty much one of life's guarantees when it comes to running your business and finances, especially if you're doing your own bookwork. Our businesses do not exist in a vacuum where nothing else ever needs to be taken care of. Plus, finance isn't something that most people enjoy, so getting behind is a bit like just part of that ebb and flow cycle of running a business. So today we're going to look at two options to get back up to date, and we're going to talk about the pros and cons of each. Because the real test of your business management is not how long you can stay up to date with your finances, but really it's about what action you take or what action you don't take when you get behind. So the two options: firstly, do you leave it until you can clear out your schedule for 3 days and sit down until it's done, come hell or high water? Or B, do you ease your way back into it by tackling small blocks of time, small tasks, knowing that over time, eventually you will get back up to date? For many business owners, option A is the one they pick. It's out of date, your bookwork, and therefore it needs to be up to date, and I want to achieve that straight away. Now, and I call this the kind of all or nothing approach. But this is going from one extreme to another. And attempting to do it all in one is often a self-inflicted punishment. So what's the easier way then? So if you want to get your finances up to date without the stress of doing it all at once, without the overwhelm, without having to somehow magically clear, 3 days in your schedule, then start by breaking it down into smaller pieces, and we use option B, the overtime approach. And I call this kind of the little and often approach. And it really is that alternative to the all or nothing. It doesn't need to be time consuming. We can actually do this in small blocks of time, little and often. 15 minutes each day dedicated to your finances really will start to add up. Because you're probably thinking, 15 minutes a day, what would I possibly get done? I'm not really going to achieve anything in 15 minutes. And that is totally true if you only do 15 minutes once. This is the little and often. If you do 15 minutes a day, every business day, let's just go with 20 days a month, that's 5 hours a month of time dedicated to your finances. That really will catch you up before you know it. Plus, 15 minutes is going to need much less willpower and motivation than having to sit down to do 5 hours of bookwork all at once. That sounds so very boring. Now, within the little and often approach, there are two kind of ways to tackle it. So the first way is the variety way, tackling a different thing each day. So on Monday, you may do receipts and expenses. On Tuesday, you may do income. On Wednesday, bank transactions, etc. Don't forget, we have to cover up the different sources where our monies come in and go. So PayPal, Stripe, Square, Etsy, all of those platforms that you use. And slowly, this will chip away at everything that needs to be done. Now, the con against this approach is that it's not really going to feel like you're making huge progress, because we're just chipping away a little bit at a time at lots of different aspects. But the benefit of this approach is that you're not stuck doing one thing over and over, seemingly for weeks on end. So what's the reverse of this approach? It's the focused approach. So in the focused approach, you would tackle the same thing every day until it's finished, before then moving on to the next thing. So it's the same items we need to do. So maybe you tackle receipts and expenses first, and you do those every day until you're up to date with your receipts and expenses. Maybe it's income, bank transactions, income sources, etc. You will see progress quicker on this because you're out of date on your receipts, and then you've done July, and then you've done August, and it will snowball that kind of progress. So you will see progress quicker than in the variety approach. But the reverse, the con of this approach is that you do have to do the same thing day in, day out until it's done. Now, you can obviously mix and match the variety approach and the focus approach. You could spend a week on receipts and expenses and then a week on income, etc. But make sure you have a structure and try to stick to it, because otherwise the temptation to spend, the first 5 minutes of your 15-minute block deciding what you're going to do today really will eat into your productive time. Now, I'm going to say here, the time approach, the all or nothing versus the little or nothing, isn't the only thing you're going to need to tackle when it comes to getting your finances up to date. So for my other tips, go and register for the free training. And it's called Get Your Finances Up to Date Without Pretending You Love Numbers, because believe me, you don't need to. And we're going to make it less painful, less stressful, and easier, and it's all together in one free training for you. And I've left the link to sign up for that training in the description for the video, and we're going to look in that training in about 40 minutes what's really happening when you're behind, and we're going to take some action to get you started again. If you do need more focused help, you just want to talk through what could work for you, reach out and let's talk about my Let's Get Up to Date package, where we work together and I literally help you get your business finances right up to date. And we do it over about 3 months with fortnightly sessions, so it's not overwhelming, they're not huge. We do actions in the sessions together. We really do get you back up to date so that you can get back to doing the work that you love. If you've enjoyed this video on catching up with your finances easier, I would love you to leave me a like or a comment. Let me know if you have questions, of course, and you can subscribe to get more business finance tips and tricks and information on this channel. Just subscribe to the channel and I'll see you next week.